and let us all do we can to build a better future.
We got a lot of good stuff today.
So let's get started with the first segment. Hashtag force the vote. So before we start playing the Twitter links, I want to get the congratulations out of the way. Shout out to Jimmy Dore and Dr. Cornel West for being part of the advisory council for Moving for People's Party, as well as the wonderful, incredible Ron Placone. First, let's play a video from Cornel West about force the vote. Let's play that video. I think there's a second video underneath it too. First, pause it and let's rewind.
Beautiful.
Pentagon militarism sits at the very center of the Democratic Party, so they won't hit issues of poverty head on. They won't hit issues of mass incarceration head on. They won't hit issues of AFRICOM in Africa, of military bases around the world. They won't hit issues of the Israeli occupation of Palestinian brothers and sisters. The Democratic Party has become too centrist. It's time to make a break of a Democratic Party with corporate power, where Pentagon militarism sits at the very center.
Mm-hmm. Now real quick too. Also, E. Heller wanted to give a correction too, and Justice Jackson as well. I think he's part of the Movement for People's Party Advisory Council, which is awesome. Now let's also play this video from Ron Placone as well.
Announce I will be on the People's Party Advisory Council, focusing on digital rights, helping to close the digital divide here in the United States, and trying to preserve a free and open internet that is constantly under threat, especially with the loss of net neutrality. And this is largely because we have elected officials who are bought out by big cable, or in some cases just don't even understand the policies they're voting on. And isn't that the duopoly? You know how sometimes TV shows go on for like 3 seasons too long, and you're like, why is this still on the air? That's our government. Like, the series should have been canceled the day after Reagan got elected, but instead they kept renewing and renewing and renewing each and every season, and now it's to the point where we have an entire corporate coup for a government that has had an absolutely horrific response to this pandemic, doesn't want to do anything about climate change, is allowing the gap between the rich and the poor to increase and increase and increase, while military spending and Wall Street are having a field day. Oh, and you know what else? We don't have the healthcare system that the rest of the industrialized world figured out decades ago. And that's why I support hashtag force the vote, because the time is now. This is a public health crisis. This is an emergency. This cannot wait. This is not about personalities or politicians' feelings. This is about getting people health care, and we have to act, and we have to act now, and we have to act bold. So hashtag force the vote. Go to forcethevote.org to learn more and sign the petition, and I hope to see you all at the town hall on Wednesday. Peace.
All right. There's a couple of things I want to address in that video. Again, Ron Placone is again repeating the same things that we have said here on the show and numerous other independent media networks have said on the show. Jimmy Dore has even said it himself. Force the vote isn't about ego. It's not about who is leading the way. Jimmy Dore even said to Cenk Uygur, hey, look, you could take force the vote. Just join in on this. This isn't about anyone's pride. This is about dealing with a crisis, the likes of which we have never seen in quite some time. And we are the most richest country in the world, yet we don't have single-payer health care. We don't have Medicare for all. We don't have universal basic income. We need to do hashtag force the vote. Now, one of our couple of our commentators have asked, hey, Kit, are you going to participate with what's happening on January 2nd through the 4th in Washington, D.C. for hashtag force the vote? Sadly, I'm a caretaker to a senior citizen, and I cannot participate. However, we here at Heartlands Media are in full support of hashtag force the vote and make it happen. There are a whole wonderful group of people that are going to be there, that are going to be speaking out, but it's not about them. It's about all of us together, conservatives, libertarians, Republicans, Democrats, liberals, Democratic Socialists, Greens, Independents. This is something that impacts us all. Medicare for all is very popular and is in full support with a lot of people. Sadly, Congress is turning a blind eye to this. Now, withholding your vote, what does that mean? Withholding your vote for Nancy Pelosi, especially for the 15 congressmen and women that are there, it's basically saying, Nancy, put Medicare for all for a vote on the House floor. Now, withhold your vote. It can happen. You got to do this, because if she does put it on for a floor for vote, you know what happens? We shine a light on just how disgusting some of our representatives truly are, especially in a crisis, the likes of which, again, we have never seen. Let's pull up that tweet from Jackson Hinkle. And again, Mona, you might like this a lot. I actually am going to be a guest co-host on his show this week, Wednesday, So tune in when he goes live for his show. So here's his tweet. Join us at Spirit of Justice Park in Washington, D.C. from January 2nd to the 4th to hashtag force a vote on hashtag Medicare for All. 105 million Americans are currently uninsured, underinsured. We need your support now more than ever before. Retweet for exposure and sign up for our Facebook event. And here's can we get an image of all those people too? Can we? Because in there I'm seeing Brianna Joy Gray. I'm seeing Nico House. I'm seeing Fiorella Isabella. And there's a few other people there that I unfortunately cannot see at the time right now. But again, you guys can see that link in our show notes. Please check it out. But again, if you could support or go there or share it on social media, everyone needs to be talking about this. Let's pull up that last link for hashtag Force the Vote. Go to forcethevote.org. Okay, so folks, here is a link that you need to go. If you haven't signed this petition, or if you know people that would like to sign this petition, please share it with them. This is Force the Vote. Let's keep on scrolling down. Again, right now they got past the goal of 33,000. We need more people to sign in on this. Sign your name on the petition. I have put my name on that petition too, and I'm going to keep on sharing and keep on talking about this. And let's keep on scrolling down further to the list of congressmen and women that are on that list of people that should be withholding their vote for Nancy. Let's pull that up. So again, look, there's 15 individuals, right? All starting with AOC, going all the way down to Ro Khanna. Please, everyone, if you haven't signed your name on it, go ahead. I want to hand it over to my colleague, Daniel. Take it away.
This really reminds me back when we were on the radio and we had Jim Dores in Chicago doing his comedy special at Thalia Hall. And he came on the show back when we were on radio. And I remember we talked a little bit about this, but he's been thinking about this for a number of years, looking back on it. I remember he said, I was asking, okay, how do you plan to have a third-party movement actually, effectively do something in Congress? And his response was, you just get enough of them in so that they can forcibly stop the Democrats or Republicans from doing something without their help, and then they get to dictate more of what's going on. Then you get more people in that are doing more things because they see the promise in them. It's very interesting to see how his idea sort of did happen, just not in the way that he presented it. It's but a similar situation. We have people that are saying, hey, we're progressives, we're for you, we're modern progressives, we're not just the regular generic progressive caucus. Let's have them do something. When there's enough of them, that's what I've been saying all this time, is that if you get enough people in, okay, start wedging issues. So let's do it. I mean, are you really going to say, oh, well, Nancy Pelosi's leader and other people are leader and they have this really good strategy put together to deal with these things? And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing I've been thinking that they might be thinking, which is sort of what Cenk Uygur has been talking about, which is, well, we maybe have something later where we have, and this is complicating it. Well, my response to those people would be, then tell us.
What is your plan?
If you have a good plan that you're going to play out, let us know so we can go, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't mean to step in it. But I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything saying that or talking about that. What I hear is we'll figure out something, and when we figure it out, we'll talk about it. And if I'm not mistaken, change doesn't happen from just talking continuously without end or resolution or discussion. So if we're going to do this and we have a shot that's easy, that doesn't really have that many what's Nancy going to do? Not like progressives and not put our bills or in a her bills she put. It's already how it's happening. It's already what's going on. So what do we have to lose except making maybe Joe Biden look bad? Maybe thinking that they're affecting the race in Georgia, or maybe showing that the Democrats give a damn and that they're willing to fight for health care at a time where a lot of people don't have it and need it. That might actually help your Georgia race.
Yeah. And again, look, I know there's a lot of people saying on social media that Ilhan Omar seems to be on board with hashtag force the vote. I mean, look, actions speak louder than words, and January 2nd is when the vote for Nancy for Speaker of the House comes into play. At least from the reports from I have covered during the 4 days that we were not live here at the studio, all Democrats and House members need to be need to be there in Congress to make their votes be heard and accounted for. So again, we will see what happens. But to those 15 congressmen and women that are on the forcethevote.org list, please step up and fight for a better future. We need you now more than ever. Nancy Pelosi's got to go. If she gave a damn, she would have done so in the 90s. She would have fought harder in the 90s, but she chose not to.